And welcome once again to In the Shed, round 16 of the Betfred Super League. And we're going to start at Craven Park, where Hull KR continue to shine. 34 points to 10 over Wakefield Trinity. I mean, incredible, isn't it? I mean, give me a Knickerbocker glory. It's hot out there. Give me extra strawberry and chocolate sauce, because quite frankly, this was exceptional, especially in the second half from KR, because you've got to consider who they're playing. Wakefield Trinity, they've been outstanding all season, beat Wigging last week. You felt right, could Wakey give KR a game? Well, they did for the first half. Let's talk first half before we go on to the second half mauling that KR gave them. I thought Wakefield were very good in the first half. It took 20 minutes for KR to get up and running. Nice assist for Reece Martin, who played well on his return to the Robins. I mean, really impressive from him. He'll be better for that going into next week. And of course, Davies goes in for his first of 3 tries, taking him on the night to 13 now in Super League. He's third in the try scoring charts. And at that point, you're thinking, right, what have you got, Wakefield Trinity? What have you got? I'll tell you what they had. A beautiful, beautiful leaping ball from Jake Truman. Over it goes to Tom Johnstone, and it's game on. Really good. I mean, 3 minutes after Davies scores, in goal Trinity. Superb. And wouldn't you know, 7 minutes later, Corey Hall returning to the Robins. Boom! Have a little bit of that on the right edge. Some lovely hands as well from left to right. Start with Truman through Lino all the way across. In goes Corey Hall. And it's 10 points to 6. At that point for me, Wakey deserving to be in front. I thought they were playing well at that point. Before, of course, Joe Burgess went in on 34 minutes. Equally some very nice hands from the Robins this time, from the right to the left, to find Burgess in at the corner. KR going 12 points to 10 up at half time. The loss of Jake Truman was huge. Let's be clear on that. It really did affect them. Yes, of course, they could bring Josh Rawkin and Bang Jawa into the halves, but, you know, they were on the fly at that point, playing arguably their best team in Super League this year, and they just didn't look the same in the second half. I think they needed a second half very similar to the first, where they just contained KR for that first 20 minutes, you know, got into the grind, got into the arm wrestle, and then see what they could do. Not a bit of it. Mikey Lewis, talk about records. I mean, over 500 points now for Mikey Lewis, 502 with that try. Incredible, absolutely incredible. That try taking him over 500 points. Incredible from Mikey Lewis. And from that point on, you just didn't see anything other than a KR win. They were all getting involved. And there's that many players at KR at the moment playing top level rugby league. They're playing, you know, great as a collective unit, but individually they're playing very, very well. And that's why they're a very hard proposition every single week. There were so many good performances, we couldn't possibly mention them all. They just all are playing some great, great rugby league. And let's just consider just how great they are playing, okay? They have scored 96 tries in Super League thus far. It's round 16. That is more tries than Leeds Rhinos, who finished 6th last season. Well, sorry, who finished outside the top 6, who finished 6th top try scorer last season, all the way down to 12. Let me just think about that. 7 teams in the entirety of 2024 did not score 96 tries, and we're only in round number 16. It really is that good if you're a Robin at this moment in time. Some wonderful, wonderful rugby league football. They're playing great. And as for Trinity, you know, no shame here. Very, you know, when you consider that they're averaging around about 8.2 conceded points a game, KR, this season. Trinity's gone to Craven Park and got 10. So they've done better than most in some respects. And, you know, with a roster that, let's be fair, in key areas, certainly in the pack, looks a little bit light at the moment. They are definitely punching above the weight. They're doing superb well. Darryl Powell can be very, very proud of his charges in this one. It was a good effort, but quite simply, that second half performance from the Robins, well, they just blew them away 34 points to 10. I did say let's give some mentions to some players who I felt played really well on the night. Players that are outside of the 3-2-1. Joe Burgess yet again going in and had a really good game. Do not know what Tom Grant was going on about with that disallowed try. It was a disallowed try because the baller was in touch. Forget his leg. Unbelievable. Absolutely shocking. I mean, it would be no good at the okey cokey, would he, Tom Grant, because he doesn't know his right leg from his left leg. But anyway, that's by the by. Like, whatever. You know what I'm going with that. Anyway, let's carry on. I mean, you know, just like I say, right across the park, playing some great football. Tyrone May had another controlling game. I thought he played well on the night. I've already mentioned Burgess. Lewis had a good game, a try and assist. That try, I think, was really important in that second half. None of those getting me 3-2-1. Me 1 point I'm going to give to Jez Litton. I thought Jez Litton from hooker, really good. Yeah, yet again, really strong, good running from dummy half. He got involved. It wasn't just, to be fair, he didn't run a lot from dummy half in this game, but his all-round play, he got involved, he got his hands on the ball, and when he did, he made big problems. Only 8 carries, but made just shy of 100 metres with 93. That is how potent Jez Litton was on the night, very deserving of a point. 2 points we're giving to the hat-trick hero, Tom Davies. I thought he was superb yet again. 3 very well taken tries, good running out of backfield, 21 carries, 142 metres from him, 6 tackle busts on the night. But the player that I'm giving the man of the match to is the man who's just inside him, Petter Hiku. He got a try on the night, 2 of those assists as well. Very strong in D. He made 127 metres from 18 carries, this Petter Hiku. I thought he was very good indeed on the night. You might agree, you might disagree, but I think Petter Hiku in centre. Davies couldn't do what he was doing if Hiku wasn't making the space and wasn't playing a fine game of rugby league. I mean, we said it last season, very unlucky not to be in the Dream Team 2024. I think Petter Hiku is an outstanding centre, playing great rugby league yet again. The Robins would not be without him, and rightly so. Congratulations to the Robins. They continue to be 4 points clear at the top of Super League. Can anybody catch them? Probably not, as we now go to Headingley, Leeds against Leigh. The Leeds Rhinos 48, Leigh Leopards 30 is third, took on 4. If they were ever going to make a Back to the Future about rugby league, Doc McBrown could be heard saying defence. Where we're going, we don't need defence. Oh no, defence was certainly not on show at all in this game. It was all about attacking rugby league. It really was. I mean, some wonderful tries on the night. The first one, yet again, Jake Connor, a little dink, nice little grubber kick through. There was Callum Watkins to say thank you very much indeed. Didn't Watkins have a fine game on both sides of the ball for the Leeds Rhinos? Callum, without doubt, playing some wonderful rugby league for his age. England, though, I think that's a step too far. I mean, there were some lovely moments in this, but also some poor defence. I think highlighting by the Isaac Liu try, the first try for the Leigh Leopards on the night. It's going to get confusing, isn't it? I mean, he just went right down the middle, didn't he? They were falling off him like something not right. I mean, really poor defence. I mean, a player who for me has been really good all season as well in James McDonald, just nowhere near him, quite frankly, on that particular occasion. Too easy for Isaac Liu, who took his try really well. We also saw some uncharacteristic errors. Lachlan Lamb didn't have his best night. Some of his passing really did leave a lot to be desired, and there was a bad error. 15 minutes into the game tied up, the ball goes to the ground. I'm not sure if Blam actually passed that one or not, but of course it went to Newman, and then Newman went down, and Lockie Miller. I mean, remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about Jai Field and where did he come from? Lockie Miller, wonderful length of the field try that from Lockie Miller. And Leeds are back in the groove yet again. Miller is so good, isn't he? Trying this, an assist, another 229 metres. Of course, the length of the field try doesn't hurt that. From 17 carries, 12 tackle busts as well on the night from Lockie Miller. He had a fine game. But again, it was almost like a game of tennis. Wimbledon starts today. Back come the Leigh Leopards. I mean, it just wasn't to be denied. I mean, Keenan Brand, lovely play from the Leopards going out to the right-hand side. I mean, you can have your Kellogg's, your Nestle, whatever. The only brand that counted on Friday night was Keenan Brand, wasn't it? He had a superb night, did the young man. He's not in me 3-2-1, but let's give him his absolute due. A wonderful hat-trick from the player. He's having a great season. Took his tries really well. He's first for me, the pick of the bunch. I thought he did really well indeed. But then Leeds come back again. It was like I say, it was just like, to you, to me, it was unbelievable. It was just basically going to be, I think it was always going to be a case of who was going to score the most tries. Cameron Smith, I mean, don't get me wrong, wasn't the most easiest of takes. He bamboozled the defence because, of course, he very nearly knocked it on. But Cam Smith popping up for another try. He's been in brilliant form since returning for the Leeds Rhinos. And of course, at that point, they're up again. It was breathtaking. It was a breathtaking game of rugby league. I mean, we'd be here all day if we talk about all the tries. I mean, every single one of them really well taken. It was a cracking game of rugby league. Really enjoyed it. I mean, some of the league tries as well, we've got to say, very well executed. Really well executed from them. I thought the O'Brien try, the catch from Hanley, the way in which he offloaded that, absolutely superb. Just so many really good tries. The one where McNamara went through, kicked it over the top. There were some wonderful tries from the Leigh Leopards in this game as well. They really did contribute to what was a sensational game. Like I say, the O'Brien try, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I thought Gaz O'Brien was superb on the night as well. You know, it was a third against fourth. Neither of these teams can afford to defend like this if they've got genuine hopes of getting to Old Trafford. We'll say that straight away. It was a calamity of defence. No doubt about that whatsoever. But what we actually had as a neutral was a game of just, incredible skill, wonderful attacking rugby league. It was exciting. Really enjoyed this game at Headingley. There was, like I say, just a really good game of rugby league. What's there not to like, folks? What's there not to like? Absolutely superb fare on Friday. It was. Right, let's get into the 3-2-1 on this game. I'm going to give 1.2 Gareth O'Brien. Obviously, last week got another knock in Catalan, carried it in, very brave in this game, Gareth O'Brien, and he had a really good, solid knock. He won his time again in terms of his goal kicking. That's a real problem for the Lee Leopards. There's no doubt about that. They need to be more clinical in their conversions. But, he scored a try. He made two. I thought, the fact that when he had to deputise for Armstrong, who went off at half-time, he's so versatile. He'll play wherever you want him to play. I thought he had a really good game, Gareth O'Brien, and that's why I'm giving him a point. I'm giving 2 points to Jake Connor, who yet again justified why he's doing so well in the Player of the Year tables. He is having a great season, is Jake Connor. Another 3 assists in this game for him. His kicking game on point throughout the night. I thought Jakey boy had a fantastic game. And I am going to give Callum Watkins the 3 points. Often we do overlook the middle units, but he played well. I thought the first try, he linked onto that well. He scored a really important try at the start of the second half that really made sure that Leeds got into a really strong position. Ran the ball well all game, 16 carries, 137 metres. He had 24 tackles. He only missed one all night, which was to his credit. Just all about him. He's a quality player, but like I say, Sky asking him about England at full time, never in a million years. Callum Watkins cannot be in an Ashes series. We've got far too many younger, better players. Callum won't mind me saying that. Don't get me wrong. That performance was superb. It rolled back the years, but Callum Watkins, for me, not in the Ashes. Leeds Rhinos fans, do you agree with that or not? You might take umbrage with what I've just said there. I don't know. And the thing that Adrian Lamb will desperately want to make sure is that he's conceding tries more on the edges. There was too many tries scored by prop forwards in this one that, for his liking, I'm sure he'll want to tidy that up. But that's so too will Brad Harper. It was an absolute shocker when it came to defence, wasn't it? Anyway, there you go. Fantastic stuff. Well done to both teams for giving us some outstanding entertainment on Friday night as we now go to a real tasty challenge at the Halliwell Jones Stadium as Hull FC visited the Warrington Wolves. Warrington Wolves 24, Hull FC 10 in a game that the Warrington Wolves had to win to keep any playoff chances alive. Had they lost this game to Hull FC, they'd have been 7 points behind FC, but they didn't. They won it. They're now only 3 points behind. Of course, Wakey losing as well at Hull KR really does put Warrington back in the mix for potentially getting and snatching 6th this season. It's not all done and dusted just yet. As for the game, well, let's go there straight away. This was a lying on fest. I mean, I don't know where the fluffy pillars was. It was like both teams had gone to Dreams to test out the beds because, quite frankly, they were allowed to lie on by Chris Kendall. Oh, it was so poor. It took so much energy out of the game. It didn't flow because the rucks were just so messy. Far too much lying on. Didn't like it at all. It detracted from the game. Unbelievable. As far as I'm concerned, Chris Kendall, sponsored by Dreams. Go on, check out your mattresses. Chris will let you lie down for as long as you want. Don't you worry about that. It was a shocking effort. I don't care what anybody says. Anyway, we've given a lot of praise to referees this year. This was not good in terms of a free-flowing game of rugby league because the rucks were messy. Warrington Wolves, I think they had to get in front, and if they'd have gone behind, they haven't led much these last few weeks. They had to get off to a good start. And to be fair, what a start from Josh Fewlis. Josh Fewlis, what a run. Absolutely outstanding. Getting the ball from his own 20-metre line. A little shimmy, and off he goes right down the field of play. Outstanding. And that really did settle the nerves perhaps for Warrington. And there's a lovely little tussle going on between Josh and Jake. Jake now, of course, in for the Warrington Wolves, playing really well on the left edge for Warrington. And he would go in shortly after. Both the Fewlis boys now on 8 tries each for this season. It must be wonderful to be the mum and dad of Jake and Josh Fewlis. Both of them playing in the same Warrington team and both of them having a real big impact in Warrington's season thus far. Warrington were good. I mean, down the middle, I think one of the things that John Cartwright was filthy, I think, at full time. He wasn't happy at all with his team's display. I mean, Warrington, like I say, lovely try from Jake Fewlis down the left-hand side. But I think it was the middle unit where I think Cartwright will be most disappointed, because Warrington outbullied them. They really, really did. They made far more meters down the middle. They made more post-contact meters in this game, and that was something that was the reverse when they met earlier in the campaign. They did miss John Asiata, did Hull FC, but you've got to give FC credit, because for the first 25 minutes they were right out of the game, and then all of a sudden, bang, Harvey Barron, in you go for a try, shortly followed by Aidan Caesar. And it's, very, very close. It's 12-10 at half time. And at that point, Warrington might be thinking, how's this happened? Because they were, for me, very comfortable at 25 minutes in. They were playing good rugby league. They were getting in the faces of Hull FC, and they were dominating the game. Those two tries could have unnerved Warrington. Not a bit of it. They came out in the second half and they did exactly what they did in the first half. They got off to a real strong start. And Matt Duffy, returning for the Warrington Wolves, really kicked in to high gear at the start of that second half. Playing some wonderful, wonderful rugby league on the left edge was Matt Duffy. Some very nice tries indeed from the Warrington Wolves, and they needed them. It started though first, of course, with that little Sam Powell try. Doesn't do a lot of meters on Sam Powell. Remember that from last week, but he got a really important try. That try really did settle Warrington again, like the Josh Fulis one did in the first half. And of course, not long after that, Matt Duffy going down the left-hand side, balling on the inside to Fitzgibbon, and it's game over. It then became a little tussle again. It wasn't a quality game. It lacked quality. But like I say, I do go back to the officials. And one of the questions I asked Sam Burgess, if you've not seen that, then go to our YouTube channel, go to our website, superleagueraw.com, and you'll be able to see the full post-match press conference of Sam Burgess. And I asked him, what did he make of the captain's challenge? Because for me, there's too many captain's challenges where they're taking too long. And it was an example of that in this game. Players should not be allowed to look at a replay on the big screen before deciding if they want to challenge or not. In Australia, the referee asked them straight away, are you challenging? Yes or no? If the answer's no, doesn't matter what they see on the screen, it's over. It's all finished. We need to bring that in. There's far too much time between the referee blowing his whistle for an indiscretion and then the captain's deciding if they're going for a challenge or not. It needs to be more instant. It's not what it's there. It's not designed to be that way. They should not be allowed to see any footage whatsoever of the incident. That's just my take. What's your take? Brilliant win this for Warrington. They desperately needed it. I still think they've got it all on for the playoff places. They've got some favourable fixtures on the horizon. We know that, of course. But yeah, they needed to win this. As for FC, again, up and down, showing a lack of quality at times. They've got Saints this weekend. That's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah, it's all on for six. It's all on for six for both sides. Right, where's the 3-2-1 going? I have to say, before going to the 3-2-1, I thought Harvey Barron again played really, really well for Hull FC. I thought Rapana, yes, he made some errors in this game, but he ran the ball well. You can't fault him for that. I thought he had a decent knock. Yes, he made some key errors, but he had a decent knock, and I'm not quite sure why he's coming in for the criticism that he's getting. I thought Zach Hardacre again, defensively in second row, played well. I mentioned on the final whistle's available for you to listen to as well. Go over to Spotify, listen to what the Team Talk members had to say about round 16 at your leisure in the car to and from work in the next 24 hours. Final Whistle podcast, just search Super League Raw on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the Final Whistle and see what we said there. I said I'd have probably preferred Hardacre at fullback as opposed to Rapana. But then the problem is, well, where are you putting Rapana because of Briscoe and because of Lytton? But for me, I'd have probably put Hardacre there. I don't think Rapana's got the legs to be a fullback. That's just my take. Again, black and white supporters, what's your thoughts on that? But I don't think Rapana was the enemy in this game. As for the Warrington Wolves, some really good performances. Both of the Fulis boys, absolutely superb. They didn't let anybody down, did they, on the day? Ben Curry at loose forward, again, a brilliant performance once more. He's linking in with the halfbacks as well in attacking phases for Warrington. He's had a great season as Ben Curry this year. 38 tackles indeed, made over 100 metres again. What more can you ask for from your loose forward? But he's not in my 3-2-1 this week. 1 point I'm going to give to Jimmy Harrison. When he came on the field, he injected a lot of life and power down the middle for the Warrington Wolves. Just shy of 100 metres in this one, 94 in total. 23 tackles, didn't miss one all game. Did a great job on both sides of the ball. Outstanding performance, this one, from Jimmy Harrison. He he gets a point. 2 points I've got to give to Matt Duffy, back, of course, from his cheekbone injury. 2 very, very nice assists on the day. He ran the ball for 130 metres from 15 carries, 4 tackleables, another, what you expect performance from Matty Duffy. But 3 points do go to George Williams. I think a lot of pressure was on George Williams because of all of the hysteria and noise about potentially returning to Australia. I get that. And I thought he played really well. Did he set up a try? No. Did he score a try? No. But what he did do was really well. He ran the ball hard, 10 tackle busts in this game, 164 metres from 25 carries from the halfback. And there was a moment in the second half, go and watch it back, folks, wonderful. And he just told you that George was on. He knew he needed a big performance with all of the noise surrounding him for next season. And there was a moment where FC were really in a good attacking position. They're in the Warrington Wolves 10. A little grubber went in. He had about 3 would-be chasers, FC, and who's in the fullback position to mop up? George Williams. He was absolutely everywhere. So I've got no issues at all with Sky giving Williams the man of the match. I agree with him. I thought George played very, very well. Do you agree with that 3-2-1? Yes, no, I don't know. Oh, it's over to you with regards to that, as we now go to the south of France, to Perpignan, where the Catalan Dragons took on the Huddersfield Giants. Catalan Dragons 32, Huddersfield Giants 0. Luke Robinson, go and invest in some AirPods and get some music playing in the ears of your players, because I've not seen as much stationary men in my life than the last time I went to a kids' party and watched musical statues. The defence was shocking from the Huddersfield Giants, just didn't seem interested whatsoever. I mean, having played so well against Warrington the week before, this was an absolute disgrace in terms of defence. So poor. The Cowbell Army will not be happy. I'd be livid. Not acceptable. Like I say, it was really like watching cardboard cutouts. It was just not good enough. Simple as that. Yes, okay, the Catalan Dragons had a better game. Of course they did. Darrell Latour going in for the first try. Absolutely wonderful. Clement Martin going in with a nice little individual effort. Love that. Little kick over the top. Flanagan had won his time again. Have a little bit there. Tompkins took his try well. The Keary try was a nice try as well. Another little kick chase behind. But the bottom line is, Huddersfield gift wrap this. They didn't have to work for it, Catalan. They really, really didn't. And actually, what I will say, though, as far as Catalan is concerned, is that they played the game superbly well in those hot conditions. This is how you play in heat. You've got to dominate. You've got to dominate field position. You've got to play to the elements. And they did that very, very well indeed. They completed at 93%. That's the first thing straight away. They only had to do 270 tackles to Huddersfield's 361. That's going to burn anybody out in that type of play. And because, of course, they had the ball, they carried it for over 2,000 metres. Huddersfield could only do 1,286. Everything about this led to a very comfortable win for Catalan. 31 played the balls in Huddersfield's 20, only 13 for Huddersfield in Catalan's 20. They played the conditions superb. They had some wonderful moments, individual efforts. Lovely to see the French lads coming in and playing some really sparkling rugby league. And of course, the old guard also standing up. But I go back to where I started. Huddersfield Giants. Deary me. Unbelievable. I mean, it really was shocking. I mean, the amount of gaps, unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, they were just going through too easy. I was watching it going, where's the defence? I mean, it really was spot the defence. It was just so bad, really bad. You'll see far better defence on park pitches than that. That's just not acceptable rugby league football from Huddersfield Giants, and they've got to take a long, hard look at themselves. I mean, they go up against Castleford at the Jungle this week. That's a massive game for both sides because the supporters have been very, very loyal to both of those two teams, haven't they, this season? But both will genuinely go into that game thinking we need to win and should win. And it's going to be whoever comes out worse there, whether it be Danny Maguire or Luke Robinson. Oh, dearie me, forget cowbells. The Jungle drums will be banging left, right and centre. They really, really will. I wouldn't want to be either of them, quite frankly. Whoever loses that game next week, just simply ouch is all I'm going to say with regards to that. Catalan needed something. They were better last week against Lee. They've now got a win. The question is, can they build on that? Tricky task for them next week at Wakefield Trinity. That's not going to be easy. Wakey will want to bounce back off the back of the KR result. So that's going to be an interesting game as well. But Dragons seem to be getting a little bit better. If that's good enough when they come up against the top sides, I don't know. But they seem to be getting better. We'll learn a little bit more about the Dragons when they go up against Wakey. And like I say, Huddersfield, wow, just simply wow. Shocking performance. An absolute shocking performance from them. Some of the some of the stats in terms of missed tackles. I mean, Greenwood missed 5, Frawley missed 5. I mean, oh dear, not good if you're a Cowbell Army fan, not good if you're Huddersfield. You can't hide behind it. You're not going to win games if you're defending as poorly as that. Catalan, well done for, walking through. Anyway, here we go. Let's go to the 3-2-1. I'm going to give 1 to Clement Martin. Oh, yes, what a performance from the young man. Lovely try. Lovely try. A lovely bit of individual skill. Love that. And again, not probably going to get as much praise for that this week than he should do. If that's Bevan French, Bevan French, God, how many times has Bevan French scored a try like that? But if that's Bevan French, they're waxing lyrical. Super League put out a Twitter feed, the magic that he's Bevan French. Come on, let's give Clement his day in the sun. Wonderful little kick forward. Yes, Flanagan made an error, but not just that, his spatial awareness to make sure that his legs were not in touch to be able to ground that ball. That was wonderful from the young man. Very, very well done indeed. I'm going to give 2 points, I'm going to give 2 points to not Sam Tompkins. Sam Tompkins is not in me 3-2-1. I thought he played well in the first half, faded in the second. It's Cesar Rouge. Cesar Rouge. What a player. Yeah, good player, this lad. Coming, of course, for Theo Farju's out. 2 very nicely taken assists from him. I thought his kicking game was good throughout the game. Really enjoyed watching what he was all about on the night. I'm going to give him 2 points. And 3 points to Luke Keary, who finally arrived. Oh, yeah, nice try. Took his try well. Nice assist in the game as well. Kicking game slightly for me better than Rouge's, and I've just felt his all-round contribution much better. So for me, Luke Keary, I can't believe I'm saying it, I'm going to give him the 3 points. Some nice knocks as well from some of the forwards for the Catalan Dragons. I thought Seguer played well in second row. I'll give him a little shout out as well. Partington, as always, decent in defence. Did over 100 metres as well, did Ollie. But there, me 3-2-1. Do you agree with that? Huddersfield Giants fans? What's your thoughts on that one? Anyway, there you go. Well done to the Catalan Dragons as we now go to a controversial game, but an absolute belting game, a diamond in the rough. Nobody saw this one coming as we go to the jungle. Castleford against Wigging. The Castleford Tigers 22, Wigging Warriors 26. It's like watching Disney, isn't it, Wigging Warriors? The Lion Kings of 2024. The rumour has it, oh yes, not only was Aladdin in the changing room, so too was the genie. And they're running out of wishes, are the Wigging Warriors. Talk about lives. They're going down. Oh, Huddersfield should have beat him. Castleford should have beat him. Wakefield did beat him. And now they go to the Battle of the Borough. They've got to be a lot better than this if they're going to turn over the Lee Leopards and the LSP next week. But let's give so much credit to the Castleford Tigers. Nobody gave Castleford a prayer. Everybody says it. Wigging don't lose back-to-back, and they didn't lose back-to-back yet again. But my Lord, did they come close. Nobody gave Castleford a prayer in this. Wonderful first try. Dejan Arce out to the left-hand side. Lovely pass. Puts Will Tate in at the corner. And then Wigging bounced back, as you'd expect Wigging to bounce back. Jaifield on the right edge, really starting to cook. He had a great game, did Jaifield. Eckersley as well had a stunning game for the Wigging Warriors. A lovely one too with Field goes in. Happy days. Wigging now right back in it. Adam Kieran then, of course, got a breakaway from the scrum for the Wigging Warriors. Took his try well. And then, you're thinking, right, this is going to be a test now for Castleford. You expect at that point a good 18-plus win for the Wigging Warriors, don't you? That's what the sensible people out there would possibly be thinking with regards to this game. 12-4 at half-time. That's probably game over. Not a bit of it. Dejan Arce. What an ounce. Honestly, Tommy Tippy, are you watching? If Tommy Tippy are watching, they'll get signed up, Mr. Dejan Arce. Talk about dummies. Beautiful stuff from the man. He had them all ends up. Junior in December. Oh, he'd won his time again. It was a turnstile. Beautiful play from Arce. And then he was at it again. Another ball out to Sam Wood. Sam Wood goes in, and all of a sudden, Castleford Tigers fans are in absolute dreamland. They've come to play after 48 minutes. They're right bang back in it, and they're really playing some fantastic rugby league football. Wigging weren't to be denied. They just didn't go away. Again, some nice play. Jaifield, lovely lofted ball to Eckersley. Nice feet from Eckersley as well, it's got to be said. He did really well. Little jinx, in he goes. And again, Wigging right back in the box seat. And again, you're thinking at this point, right, 68 minutes gone, 12 to go. That's probably it. Wigging now will probably go on and secure this win, and that'll be the end of the Castleford Tigers, because everything would point that way. Again, not a bit of it. Back come the Castleford Tigers. Some wonderful play again. That man again, hands on the ball. Catch and pass from Zach Cine. What a catch and pass. You don't like a catch and pass. Beautiful stuff. Will take goes in for his second try. And you're thinking, happy days. Take that one. Beautiful play. We're now at 20 points to 18. Horn then gives away a penalty. It's 20 points apiece, and you're thinking, right, this now really is in the balance before Jaifield, yet again, down the left-hand side, off he trots, foul on the inside. Yeah, you pie-eaters out there who've been giving Liam Farrell loads of grief this year. I bet you weren't on Saturday night, were you? Hey, Liam the King, I hear you saying. Outstanding try from Liam. But it wasn't just his try. Liam Farrell on the night defensively was absolutely superb for the Wigging Warriors. He doesn't get, for me, he's not getting anywhere near the respect that his stint at the Wigging Warriors has get, you know, the effort and the toil that he's put his body through for that club. All of a sudden, the worm has turned a little bit this season for Liam Farrell, but perhaps he silenced a few of his critics in this one. 43 tackles. He did over 120 metres in this game, did Liam Farrell. Had a really, really good, solid knock, did Mr. Farrell. So much so, I gave him a point in this one. Before I tell you who gave the 2 and the 3 to, Harry Smith. A lot of controversy over Harry Smith in this game in terms of professional foul, obstruction, etc. We saw Mikey Lewis go for 10 in the KR game. All I'm going to say is this. You know, there's been massive debates about it throughout the weekend. We talked about it on the final whistle. All I know is this. When Harry Smith goes to the jungle, he's the best disappearing act in the world. Talk about Harry Houdini. A couple of seasons ago, spear tackle, not a bit of it. He gets away with that. Now he's getting away with, you know, obstructions, professional fouls. He must love going to the jungle. He's the invisible man. Oh, the invisible man. You can almost hear Freddie Mercury. Anyway, let's get into the 2 points. The 2 points have got to go to Arce. What an incredible performance from Dejan. A brilliant try. Brilliant try. Lovely dummy. 2 wonderful assists. His kicking game on the night, really good. 10 in general play, 6 attacking kicks as well. He had a great game. Best game for me personally that I've seen in a Tigers shirt thus far this season from the big fella. Very, very well done indeed. And I'm going to get, it was really tight. It was really tight between him and Field, but you can't ignore Field. You know, very like I said, a try, 2 assists in the game, very similar performances from both players. But, you know, Jai came out on the winning side, and I think at the end of the day, that was it. I think it was, you know, that last run at the critical part of the game. As Danny Maguire said in his post-match, he's why he's paid the big bucks, and he delivered. And that's why I'm giving Jai Field 3 points this week. 18 tries now for the season as well from Jai. He just keeps ticking over, doesn't he? They are missing Bevan French. Massive task for them next week, of course, as they go up against Lee Leopards at the LSP. And, of course, for the Tigers, they welcome Huddersfield Giants. They'll be hoping to replicate this performance because based on the Giants' performances in Perpignan, if they play like this against the Giants, we can only see one winner in that one. Ladies and gentlemen, outstanding stuff as we now go over to the Totally Wicked Stadium to bring this episode of In the Sheds to a close. St Helens 58, Sulford Red Devils 0. Once again, it's deja vu for the first half. Salford, yeah, sort of competitive, but then in the second half, Saints absolutely walk away with the game. I mean, here's one for you, folks. Okay, let's just get into a little bit of detail. St Helens currently have a plus of 272. They've scored 464 and conceded 192. If you take away the 3 games they played against Salford, it will go down from 272 to only 90. If St Helens were to need that points difference to be in the playoffs this year, Paul Wellens owes a massive thank you to Luke Fixtures and to Salford Red Devils. No doubt about that whatsoever. You strip out the Salford performances from St Helens this season, like I say, they will be down to 90. It's still decent, don't get me wrong, better than most teams in the league, but it just goes to show what an impact Salford have had on the Saints' 2 for and against this season. They really have. They've been very lucky, haven't they? Let's be fair on that. Look, bottom line is another cakewalk for the Saints against Salford. 2 tries for Burns. I was pleased about that. I thought Burnsy, well, you know, very nice indeed. Saylor, he must love playing Salford. He was man of the match. Let's get into the 3-2-1. There's not really much to say. There really isn't. 3-2-1, 3 points to Saylor. Has to be. 2 tries, 4 assists on the day, 32 carries, 248 metres from him. He loves playing him again. We might actually strip out the Salford games from Saylor's stats this season. That'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it, to see how he's done against other teams. But there's no doubt about it. He loves playing Salford, does Tristan Saylor. Kyle Felt back, another hat-trick against Salford. 3 more from him, took him really, really well. And 1 point I'm going to give to Daz Clark. I thought Daz Clark, who's been a bit off, I think, this season. He had a good game, good try, 32 tackles indeed. Did 150 metres from 11 carries. poise, played well from dummy half, 6 dummy runs from Daz, got on the front foot, but he will do against the defence like Sulford. The indiscipline as well, not helping. I thought Chris Hill gave away a few silly penalties, which aren't helping the cause. They're trying the best. There's not much to say about Salford. I don't want to go on about it too much. I think we're just sick of talking about it. You've got to give credit, though, to Paul Rowley and his team for keep turning up at the very, very least. Of course, the decision around the HMRC, that's been deferred until the end of the season. So we're not going to hear much more with regards to that. But yeah, Saints, well done to him. They've got the points. They can only beat what's in front of them. They're sitting comfortably now in 5th on 20 points. There's a nice little cushion of 3 between them and Hull FC. They're looking good for a playoff place at St Helens. It's going to get more tricky, of course, for them as the matches start to get a little bit more difficult. I mean, next up for them is Hull FC. That very similar to Warrington's game, I feel. That all of a sudden, whoever wins that, I think Hull FC need to win it to just keep Saints within a point of them. If Saints was to win that would take them 5 points clear of FC, and that will put them in a really, really good place. And I think Saints need to win that game at the MKM, because then they've got some really tricky fixtures on the way. They've had a bit of an easy run of late, which has allowed them to get some points on the board and to solidify themselves in the top 6. But once they get past Hull FC, which won't be easy at the MKM, coming off the back of a defeat, John Cartwright will want a really good response from his team with regards to that one. They then go to the Leeds Rhinos. Then they have a game against the Lee Leopards at home. So 3 really tricky fixtures. They've then got Castleford at home before they go to Trinity. So like I say, the next 5 fixtures for Saints, there's some really tasty ones in there, and they're going to have to be at the best to win. But at the moment, like I say, doing well. I think Mbai going in, Whitby will be back probably for these next few games for Saints. That's going to be a bonus for them. But there you go. A bit of a downer really to end this episode on In the Sheds, no doubt about that whatsoever. But there were some really good games, wasn't there, this week in the Betfred Super League. The one at the Jungle had it all, no doubt about it. It was a tri-fest at Headingley, which I really enjoyed. A very intriguing game at Halliwell Jones, lacked a little bit of quality here and there. A great second half performance from KR, brilliant first half performance from Wakey. The competition is going really, really well. We will be back, if you remember, at 6 p.m. this evening for Round Unpack, your exclusive show for being a member. We hope you join us for that. If you're not a member, then of course you can join us for the best magazine show online, Super League Raw Weekly, back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. live on Tuesday night on YouTube. We hope to have your company there. In the Sheds returns, of course, next week. Enjoy what's left of your Monday. The England squad has just been announced. We'll be talking about that as well on Weekly tomorrow night. But from me to you, I'll see you next week for more In the Sheds.